decided that space starts here. At about 100 kilometers, Earth stops and space begins. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We first need to know the rules before we learn how they can be broken. Nuclei are squeezed together so hard that they start to touch. Protons and neutrons rearrange, making long cylinders or sheets, enormous nuclei with millions of protons and neutrons shaped like spaghetti and lasagna, which physicists call nuclear pasta. Lumps of pasta inside a neutron star can even make mountains. Beneath the pasta, we reach the core. They're called magnetars until they calm down a little. But the absolute best kind of neutron stars are friends with other neutron stars. Their orbits can decay and they can crash into and kill each other in a kilonova explosion that spews out a lot of their guts. When they do, the conditions become so extreme that for a moment, heavy nuclei are made again. It's not fusion putting nuclei together this time, but heavy neutron-rich matter falling apart and reassembling. Only very recently, we've learned that this is probably the origin of most of the heavy elements in the universe, like gold, uranium and platinum, and dozens more. So then our two neutron stars collapse and become a black hole, dying yet again. Not only do stars have to die to create elements, they have to die twice. They have an even more powerful and dark property. They might delete the universe itself. As you float along, imperceptibly, the stream gets faster and faster, even if you can't see the waterfall yet. You could swim to safety until, without even noticing it, you cross the point of no return. No matter how fast you try to swim now, the stream will pull you towards certain death. Nothing can escape a black hole waterfall once it gets too close. This border completely separates black holes from the rest of the universe. We can't access them unless we're willing to never return. Way of telling what's really going on inside black holes, but we have a few ideas about what's going on right at their very edge. Reconstruct the paper. The information of the paper is still in the universe. It's not lost, it's just hard to read. Fundamental for all our laws of physics that information can never be lost. Existing, not existing, without information, everything is relative. Well, what that means for us, nobody knows. This is a little frightening, but also kind of exciting. Maybe a little part of the black hole splits off and forms a baby universe. Or maybe black holes don't disappear completely after the end of their life cycle. But there's a third option. Information is safe after all, not lost or hidden. Perhaps we've just been looking at this whole thing the wrong way. Let's create a black hole with dirty laundry. A single extra sock fits in. It's a sock in with a lot of energy and violence. The room collapses in on itself and forms a black hole. The room itself has not changed. Fitting in more stuff or information is still impossible. The room itself gets a little bit bigger to make space for the new information. It turns out a black hole grows its surface by a tiny pixel for each bit of information we throw into it. In a nutshell, more information means more surface area. The information gets painted on the surface, similar to what happens when we throw a stone into a pot, in a type of pixel that is unbelievably tiny. Black holes are the ultimate hard drive. This is a bit like taking a paperback and turning it into an e-book. The universe is a hologram. But are wormholes real, or are they just magic disguised as physics and math? For most of human history, we thought space was pretty. So, where can we find a wormhole? Presently, only on paper. But not all maths describes reality. They describe every black hole as a sort of portal to an infinite parallel universe. NASA announced today that they found aliens. Bacteria on Mars, weird alien fish in the oceans of Europa, and also ancient alien ruins on Titan. Wouldn't that be great? Well, no. It would be horrible news. Devastating even. Cancer is killing cancer. Have kill switches that make them commit suicide. But these kill switches are not infallible. Solution 1, evolve or become a blob of cancer. Let's start this video by throwing a mouse, a dog and an elephant from a skyscraper onto something soft, let's say a stack of mattresses. The mouse lands and is stunned for a moment before it shakes itself off and walks away pretty annoyed because that's a very rude thing to do. The dog breaks all of its bones and dies in an unspectacular way, and the elephant explodes into a red puddle of bones and insides and has no chance to be annoyed. Mouse survive, but the elephant and dog don't. The answer is size. Small things, for example, are practically immune to fall. It's completely destroyed in an impressive explosion of goo beings. like surface tension, which turns water into a potentially deadly substance for insects. When you touch water, it would be like you were reaching into glue. Their wings look like big hairy arms rather than proper insect wings. They literally swim through the air like a tiny gross alien through syrup. Where am I? You died, I said, matter-of-factly. No point in mincing words. There was a truck, and it was skidding. Yes. I died. Yes. But don't feel bad about it. Everyone dies. You looked around. There was nothingness. Just you and me. What is this place? Is this the afterlife? More or less. Are you God? Yes. Wait. Where are we going? Nowhere in particular, technically. Time as you know it only exists in your universe. Lived. Or who will ever live. Yes. I'm Abraham Lincoln. And you're John Wilkes Booth too. I'm Hitler, you said, appalled. And you're the millions he killed. I'm Jesus. So the whole universe, it's just an egg. The smallest density of all the planets. If you had a sufficiently large bathtub, Saturn would swim in it. Future generations will look down on in disgust. While all these things are true, something else is true too. Steak is amazing. Burgers are the best food. Chicken wings taste great. And roughly 3 times bigger than the atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki combined. In this case, you die. You also lose the hole of death system. You might into a billion pieces, but the black hole wouldn't stop with just you. The black hole is now a dominant gravitational piece of the Earth-Moon black hole of death system. The Moon's orbit is now highly elliptical. The effects on the solar system are awesome, in the biblical sense of awesome, which means terrifying. Tidal forces also die. Here in the Kurzgesagt labs, we only work on the most important scientific problems like, what if we nuke stuff? Or how about we make this elephant explode? Or who could forget, look at this thing, it's really big. 2, 1, magic. Let's drop our nuclear pile in the middle of the Amazon rainforest, just to show nature who's boss. Playing around with nuclear weapons in videos is fun. Pitch black and under 1,000 atmospheres of pressure, it's a relatively pristine environment thanks to the absence of humans. A great place for our nuclear test. Gold. However, gold is very dense, about 20 times denser than a diamond. To be in reach of the thermal pulse, one moment you're on your way to work, the next moment you're on fire. Everybody feels lonely from time to time. When we have no one to sit next to at lunch, when we move to a new city, or when nobody has time for us at the weekend by yourself and hate every second surrounded by friends. Loneliness is a purely subjective, individual experience. If you feel lonely, you are lonely. What would happen if you were to bring a tiny piece of the sun to Earth? Short answer, you die. Long answer, it depends which piece of the sun. We only need enough universe to fool the inhabitants of our simulation into thinking that they're real. Who needs billions of galaxies? We only need the space our subjects are allowed to explore. Of all conscious beings that will ever have existed are simulated. That we can't really test right now, so many scientists disagree with this whole thought experiment. So don't burn your house down to test if there will be glitches. Why are you still here? All we can hope to do is try to live good lives and have a good time. And hope that if we actually are simulations in a supercomputer, nobody trips over the power cable. Kurzgesagt is lying to you in every video, even in this one.